When a person recites the Shahada, Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasul Allah, they are not just repeating words, they are making a declaration that marks the most significant transformation in their life. It's not a performance, not a script, it's truth. A truth so deep, it shakes a soul awake. See, when someone says those words with intention, with sincerity, they're drawing a line between everything that came before and everything that's about to come next. They're stepping into something bigger than themselves. It's not just religion, it's submission. Submission to a truth that doesn't change, that doesn't shift with time or opinion or comfort. It's stepping out of the world's illusions and into divine reality. This isn't a small step, no, it's a leap from confusion to clarity, from searching to knowing, and that clarity. Man, it don't come easy, it comes with struggle, with late nights, with tears. With questions that don't always have answers, and answers that don't always bring comfort. At first, but then the moment hits, the heart softens, the soul recognizes what the mind was trying to process. You realize you were always being led to this. Every moment, every mistake, every breath, it brought you here to this testimony. This is when the old identity starts to fall off like dead weight, and it don't matter what the world called you before. Atheist, Christian, lost, angry, broken. None of that matters now, because you've found your Creator, and more importantly, your Creator found you, brought you back, gave you the courage to say, "There is no God but Allah." That's why people cry when they hear it. That's why the air gets heavy. You're watching someone be reborn right there in front of you. No hospitals, no machines, just light entering a soul that's ready for it. A soul that's been through fire and finally found water. The real kind, the kind that cleans you from the inside out. That Shahada is freedom, it's forgiveness, it's purpose, it's everything the world tries to sell you in bits and pieces, but never delivers. Because only Allah can do that. And when a person finally accepts that truth, there's this peace, this silence, like the whole universe pauses for a moment just to witness it, just to honor it. And when you see that moment, when someone breaks down mid-sentence, when their voice shakes, when the tears fall before the words are even done, you know you're seeing something sacred, something real. Not for likes, not for views. This is something between a soul and its Creator. You don't need music or dramatic edits. Just truth, just heart, just a moment that will be remembered in the heavens, because it's not just a change of faith. It's the start of life, the real one, the one you were always meant to live. For when you see someone stand up to say the Shahada and their voice starts to tremble, that's not weakness, that's not fear, that's something else entirely. That's the weight of meaning hitting the heart all at once. It's the realization that every word you're about to say is going to change your life, your identity, your future. That trembling voice, that's the soul trying to catch up with the truth it just embraced. It's raw, it's real, it's everything the world tries to hide. We live in a world where people are scared to show emotion, told to hold it in, told to be tough. But in that moment, when the Shahada starts, none of that matters, because what you're seeing is not weakness. What you're seeing is surrender, a surrender so powerful that it shakes the body. That's why the tears come. Not just from the one saying the Shahada, but from everybody watching. Because when truth is spoken from the heart, it doesn't stay in one place, it travels, it moves, it reaches other hearts. There's a reason people cry at weddings, at births, at funerals. It's because something deeper is taking place, something beyond words. And when someone declares that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger, they're not just stepping into Islam. They're stepping out of the world's illusions, and you can feel it. You can feel the fear breaking, the pain lifting, the ego falling. You can see it on their face. That moment, when the tears fall, it's like the soul itself is exhaling for the first time. Sometimes they can't even get the words out all at once. They pause, they cover their face, they shake, because this isn't just a belief. They're declaring the center of their being. They're saying, I submit. Not to a man, not to a system, but to the one who created them. That's heavy, that's deep, and the body knows it. The body reacts, the eyes leak, the heart races, because truth doesn't just touch the mind, it hits everything. It fills the room. You don't need a lecture, you don't need a scholar to break it down in that moment. All you need is to witness the power of sincerity. That's why people cry. That's why people feel something shift when they hear it. Because we recognize authenticity when we see it. We recognize what's pure. And in a world full of fake smiles and filtered feelings, that kind of raw emotion, it pierces straight through all the noise. You can't script that. You can't act that out. You can't rehearse truth. When someone comes to Islam and their voice breaks as they say the words, you're not just witnessing faith. You're witnessing a heart being washed, a soul being awakened, and you realize in that moment they've been carrying so much pain, guilt, confusion, and now it's pouring out, not in anger, not in rage, but in peace, in surrender, in release. Everybody sees the tears when someone says the Shahada, but what they don't see is the storm that came before it. What they don't see is the late nights sitting alone in a room, asking questions nobody around them can answer. They don't see the loneliness, the confusion, the feeling of not belonging anywhere. They don't see the long road that led to that moment, because for many, the Shahada isn't just a beginning, it's the end of a long, painful search for truth. It's the moment the struggle finds its direction. People don't just wake up one day and decide to say those words. They get pulled, sometimes gently, sometimes with force. Life shakes them, breaks them, flips their world upside down until they start looking for meaning, for peace, for something real. And the world doesn't make that easy. There's pressure, there's doubt, there's fear of how friends and family will react. There's the fear of walking away from everything familiar, food, habits, holidays, even your own name sometimes. It's a war inside, a battle between what you know and what you feel, between what you've been told and what your heart is now starting to whisper. That whisper grows louder every time you hear the Quran, every time you see a Muslim pray, every time life knocks you down, and you realize the world has nothing to offer but temporary highs and empty promises. And that whisper, it becomes a roar. You can't ignore it anymore. You can't pretend you're okay chasing what everybody else is chasing. You start to crave something real, something eternal. That's the struggle most people don't see. They don't see the person reading books at 2 a.m., trying to understand Tawheed. They don't see the tears cried in private after making duh for the first time, not even knowing if they're doing it right. They don't see the guilt from past mistakes, the pain of feeling distant from God, the shame of not knowing how to fix it. They don't see the fight to stay firm when everything around them tells them to let go. It's not a clean, straight line. It's messy, it's painful, but that's what makes the Shahada so powerful, because it doesn't come cheap. It's paid for with time, with tears, with doubt, with sacrifice. And when someone finally gets to the point where they say, La ilaha illallah, you can believe that every letter is soaked in struggle. That's why it hits so deep, because you're not just witnessing someone join a religion. You're witnessing someone survive their own doubts. You're witnessing someone choose truth over comfort, someone who could have stayed asleep but decided to wake up. And that decision, it didn't come easy. It came after a lot of brokenness, a lot of moments where they almost gave up. And now here they are, standing, shaking, crying, whispering the words they were always meant to say. The struggle didn't defeat them. It prepared them, it shaped them, and now it's behind them, giving weight to every word they speak. When someone finally says the Shahada, there's a shift, not just in their mind, not just in their faith, but in their entire being. You can see it in their eyes, you can hear it in their voice. There's this moment, right after the final word is spoken, when everything goes quiet. It's not the kind of silence that's empty, it's the kind that's full. Full of peace, full of presence, full of a calm they've been chasing their whole life. It's like something inside them exhales for the first time, all the noise, all the anxiety, all the overthinking. It falls off their shoulders like a weight they didn't even know they were carrying. That's the power of real peace, not the kind the world sells you, not vacations or money or distractions, but peace that comes from alignment, alignment between the soul and its creator. It's a feeling you can't fake. Because before the Shahada, many people are wrestling with everything. They're carrying guilt from their past, questions about their future, and a restlessness that nothing ever seems to fix. They try to fill it with success, relationships, approval, but it doesn't last. It never does, and then they reach this moment, a moment that seems simple on the outside, just a few words being spoken, but on the inside, it's like everything is being reset. Everything is being cleaned. That's why there's often a smile through the tears. It's not a smile of joy in the regular sense. It's relief, pure relief, the kind that comes when you stop running, when you stop hiding, when you finally admit that this world isn't home and never was. That feeling, it's hard to put into words, it's quiet, but it's heavy. It hits the heart like a wave, washing away years of stress, confusion, and pressure. They're not just entering Islam, they're coming home. Coming back to the one who never left them, even when they weren't looking. And when that connection is made, when that barrier is broken, there's nothing left to do but breathe. You can see it in the way their shoulders drop, like something just let go of them. Like they're finally safe. And that peace, it's not loud, it doesn't announce itself, it doesn't need a spotlight, it's subtle, it's steady, it sinks in slow but deep. That's why people often say they feel like a newborn baby after the Shahada. Not just because the past is forgiven, but because the heart is finally quiet. It's no longer shouting, no longer begging to be heard. It's been heard, it's been answered, and in that answer, there's peace. A kind of peace that stays with you, a peace that doesn't get shaken by the same things anymore, a peace that sits in the chest like a fire that doesn't burn, it warms. It reminds you that you're seen, that you're known, that you're guided. And in a world that's always pulling people in every direction, that kind of stillness is rare. It's sacred. When someone takes their Shahada, it's not just their moment, it's the community's moment too. There's something powerful about witnessing a soul return to its creator, especially when you've been through the journey yourself. You know what it means, you know what it costs, you know what it heals. So when you're standing there watching someone say those sacred words, your heart moves with theirs. It's a moment that pulls everyone in, the young, the old, born Muslims, reverts, even those still searching. Because in that moment, nobody's a stranger. Everyone becomes part of the same story. The community doesn't just stand there and watch quietly. No, they lean in, they cry, they smile, they whisper du'as under their breath. Because they know this isn't small. They know what just happened is bigger than all of us. A soul just chose Allah. A person just found the light. And that moment, it's electric. It moves through the room like a current. Nobody has to say anything. You just feel it. It's not about culture, race, background. It's about truth. and truth has a way of breaking down every wall that separates us. That's why people rush to hug the person afterward. That's why they smile like it's their own family up there, because in Islam it is. Brotherhood and sisterhood aren't just words in the religion. They're lived, they're felt. When someone takes their Shahada, they gain an Ummah, an entire global family that shares their joy, that welcomes them without hesitation. You walk into a masjid not knowing anyone, and walk out with people calling you brother and sister, like they've known you your whole life. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to earn your place. You just say those words and it's yours. But it's more than just a warm welcome. It's a reflection of what Islam is at its core. Mercy, unity, love for the sake of Allah. You see elders wiping tears from their eyes, youth recording the moment with pride, people hugging the new Muslim like they've been reunited after years apart. That's not just culture, that's something deeper. It's a reflection of a faith that honors guidance, that treasures every soul that turns back to its Lord. Because we all know how hard the journey is. We know how rare it is to find clarity in a world that thrives on confusion. So when we see someone find that clarity, we celebrate like it's a victory for all of us. And it is, because it reminds us of our own journey. It reignites our own hearts. It wakes something up inside us that maybe got a little quiet. The Shahada doesn't just transform the one saying it. It transforms everyone who witnesses it. It's a reminder that Allah is still guiding, still calling, still opening hearts. And when we witness that, it strengthens our faith too. It makes us grateful. It makes us soft. It brings the community together in a moment that feels both personal and universal. The moment someone says the Shahada, it hits you, not just because of the emotion or the tears, but because of what it reminds you of the raw, unfiltered beauty of faith. You watch them standing there, trembling, struggling to get the words out, and something inside you wakes up, something that may have gone quiet. In that one moment, you're reminded of what it's all about. The purity, the simplicity, the truth. La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. It cuts through all the noise, all the distractions, all the clutter we carry around in our daily lives, and you realize this is the essence. This is what we're here for. Sometimes, as Muslims, we forget. Life gets busy. Salah becomes routine. The Quran becomes background sound. Our hearts get heavy with the world's problems, our personal issues, our ambitions. We move through the motions without feeling the fire, but then you witness someone taking their first step into Islam, and it's like watching light break through darkness. You see the way they shake when they say the words. You hear the weight in their voice. You see the tears running down their face, and suddenly it all feels fresh again, like the first time you felt it yourself, the first time your heart softened, the first time you tasted the sweetness of belief. That's the beauty of a sincere Shahada. It's not just a moment for the person saying it. It's a mirror for everyone watching. It reflects the core of what we believe in. It reminds us that guidance is from Allah alone, and that He can open any heart at any time, no matter the past. You look at the person crying, overwhelmed by the mercy of God, and you realize this is what it means to be chosen, to be guided, to be loved by the most merciful, and it shakes you, it humbles you, because you didn't guide yourself either. None of us did. We were all pulled, carried, forgiven again and again. That moment resets everything. Suddenly, all the debates, the distractions, the divisions, they fade, and what's left is just truth, just Tawheed, just the beauty of being a servant of Allah. You feel your own heart softening again, your own eyes filling up, because it's a reminder that Allah never stops calling people. He never stops guiding hearts. And if He can guide them, He can keep guiding you. He can bring you back every time you drift. That's the kind of beauty you can't explain in a book. You have to feel it, you have to witness it, and when you do, it stays with you. It's the kind of moment that puts everything in perspective. That makes you want to be better, pray better, live better, love the Deen more deeply. It brings you back to sincerity, to simplicity, and it reminds you that Islam, at its heart, is not complicated. It's not about perfection, it's about connection, about knowing your Creator and loving Him with everything you've got.